As video games have gained more and more popularity over the past couple decades, there has been speculation that they have a negative impact on society. In reality, we believe the exact opposite to be true. Studies have shown that games, in fact, have numerous benefits to the players. First off, video games are known to improve decision-making skills. Gamers often have to make quick decisions to win a game. These could be whether to shoot a terrorist you just ran into or duck for cover, or it could be choosing which wide receiver to throw to as the defense closes in on you. More recently, hospitals have begun to allow children to play video games while in recovery. The patient absorbing of the game distracts them from any pain or discomfort they may have. Also, gaming is shown to improve hand-eye coordination. With the recent releases of motion-detecting gaming consoles like Nintendo Wii, Xbox Kinect, and the PlayStation Move, players practice their coordination more than ever. Now, a player's golf swing or aim with a gun actually matters in a game, and getting better means improving these coordinated skills. And who wouldn't want to get better at a game they're bad at? Taking coordination to another step, motion detecting gaming consoles have brought on a new way of exercising. The Wii Fit was designed with just this idea in mind and works to get the player in better shape. While the benefits of gaming are pretty overwhelming,
Prep boy swaggin', that's my mojo. Stack models in the back with my...
there are some downfalls to being a dedicated gamer. Obviously, with the exception of Wii Fit, if a gamer spends hours a day sitting on his couch instead of exercising, that's a pretty unhealthy habit. Also, the gamer would be unlikely to get out and make new friends or keep up any existing relationships, unless they're all playing the same game, of course.
Chrome dot 1100. What I'm doing, getting money. What we doing, getting money. What they doing, hating.
When analyzing gaming and the prevalence of video games in our society, we have to take a serious look at the extreme consequences that can result from participation in this activity. Video games are as violent of an extracurricular activity that exists in our culture. The obsession and addiction that stems from gaming will usually only affect those who play the game and no one else. However, sometimes extreme video game usage begins to not only affect the player, but also drives him or her to take adverse actions against their peers in response to situations in the game. These rare circumstances can cause gaming to be extremely dangerous for society. The extreme violent nature of most video games begs the question whether these virtual realities promote violence and give players the necessary skills to fulfill their imaginations. It has long been debated whether repeated specific actions in a video game, for example shooting a gun, could translate to success in the real world. In an article addressing this consideration entitled Good Clean Fun, Clive Thompson discusses how his years of video game playing simple shooting games affected his ability to fire a gun for the first time. Thompson prefaces his experience by naming several deadly incidents where the shooters were known to be addicted to video games, and he cited the games as potential source for their rampage. However, it should also be noted that in every case, the perpetrators were later discovered to have extreme cases of mental illness, which eventually was attributed to the cause of the murders. When Thompson fires a gun for the first time, he is shocked at how incredibly accurate he is for a beginner. He immediately attributes his aptitude for firing a gun to his long history of playing video games. On the contrary, he believes that spontaneous outbreaks of aggression and violence have little to no correlation to gaming. A recent survey of all published academic studies showed that only 16 concluded that playing violent video games can result in violent outbreaks and increased aggressive behavior. For only 16 of hundreds of these studies to support their notion, these conclusions can essentially be disregarded. In conclusion, the long-term consequences of years of gaming cannot be clearly defined. While engrossing oneself in a realistic atmosphere in a game may lead one to believe they are more aptly able to perform a certain task due to their repeated experience with it during the game, such as firing a weapon or driving a vehicle, the notion that violent video games breed violent behavior, especially in teens, is totally unqualified and cannot be supported by any substantial research. In the end, the effect that video games have on society are a lot less in severity than possible consequences for the individual. If gaming can be kept in moderation, then there's virtually no risk for the player, and they may even experience various benefits associated with video game use.
Last night I let the party get the best of me. Waking up in the morning, 2 hoes laying next to me. Plus I heard an officer arresting me. Good weed and